So it begins, ladies and gentlemen. A fire has broken out at Heathrow Airport, actually a substation that provides power to Heathrow Airport. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I've been warning, and first of all, this is speculation. I don't know what the actual cause of this fire was. What I do know is that all over the United Kingdom yesterday, there were fires breaking out. Now, you can go and do a search for that, but in multiple locations, big fires have broken out. I'm going to focus on Heathrow Airport, and we're going to talk about things I've said previously in regards to sabotage and things happening in the United Kingdom. I have warned about utilities. I did a top 10 video warning about the threat to the United Kingdom, the threat that is posed by sabotage. And in that video, my top, electricity setting fire to these substations. I think that was at number 3. Number 2 was water, and number 1 was cyber attack. Those predictions are still solid, guys. That video still stands up. I will link that at the end. I'll put it in the description. But let's just go straight to the share screen and see what I am talking about. Right, let me go onto here. Heathrow Airport closed after huge fire causes power outage. Ed Miliband says it's too early to know what caused the fire. I can pretty much guarantee what's caused this fire. So here we have it, guys. A nearby electricity substation caused a mass power outage overnight. The airport will be closed all day and will not open until midnight tonight. I'm not sure how they can. Predict that, but okay, whatever. Now, this thing will have a knock-on effect to other airports around the area. So I know there's a city airport. I know there's obviously Gatwick Airport, and flights will have to be diverted to other locations. Also, you will have a number of people, as I understand it, it's 16,000 people are also without power. Now, I've said in previous videos, ladies and gentlemen, that the real threat to the United Kingdom comes from sabotage. Now, when I'm on the live stream and people come on and they say, Sean, is this war going to come to the United Kingdom? The answer I give them is kind of a cop-out answer, because both are true. Yes, it is going to come to the United Kingdom in the form of sabotage. No, it's not going to come to the United Kingdom in the form of these long-range missiles. But let me present a question to you guys real quick. How much money do you think it cost? Let's just go down the conspiracy route. Let's just pretend let's just speculate wildly. Let's just speculate that this fire was caused, and this is speculation, by criminal gangs that are migrants that are living in hotels that were recruited by Eastern European hotel staff that have links to Eastern European gangsters that they have links to Russian state-owned intelligence services. Let's just go down that conspiracy for one moment. How much do we think it cost to close Heathrow Airport down? I mean, realistically, how much does I know petrol's expensive in the United Kingdom, but how much does it cost to buy flammable materials, walk up to these substations, which are usually very, very, very open and very, very vulnerable? How much would it cost to walk up to that and set fire to, put flammable materials in there, buy a cheap car, put a cheap car against it and set fire, and put a load of petrol, diesel, whatever, pile wood on top of it and set fire to it? How much do we think that would cost? Not much. Now, how much do we think it would cost if Vladimir Putin wanted to send over his long-range missiles and strike this substation to take out Heathrow Airport? That would cost a lot in resources. It would cost a lot in credibility, and there would be no way to deny that. Right now, these acts of sabotage, which I personally think this is, these acts of sabotage, and again, ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is just the beginning. Remember, I've been warning the summer of carnage is coming, the summer of chaos, the summer of carnage. I have been warning that this is coming. I do think this is marking the date. Remember, this was on the equinox as well. Things happen in March, esoterically. You know, these things are happening now. You can see that with your own eyes. The risk versus reward of paying gangs of criminals that can be easily recruited in any hotel, the risk of doing that is ridiculously low. It's a low risk and a high yield. Whereas the risk of sending over, for example, your best, you know, KGB secret spy agent with his fancy watch and an exploding pen, that is very high because it takes a lot of time to train those people. It takes a lot of resources to deploy them, to support them. So the days of that happening, although it does still happen, but the days of that happening, you know, are really numbered now. And the real threat to the United Kingdom is from criminal gangs acting on behalf of a state actor, a near-peer state actor, and they are then paying them to conduct these acts of criminality. I would speculate that this attack, if it was an attack, which I do think it was, I would speculate that this attack all up cost less than 10 grand. I really would, guys. For this attack to happen, I would say it cost all up less than 10 grand. I know what some of you guys are thinking. Oh, but sure, like petrol, it doesn't cost that much. No, it doesn't. But you have to pay other people in that chain as well. So you would have to pay the handlers. First of all, you'd have to pay your operatives to contact the handlers. The handlers would then have to recruit the people. The people would then need to get paid. And this has 100% deniability. Just go and try and trace this back to the Russians. And again, I'm not saying the Russians are behind this. I'm speculating that I would suspect they are. Remember, this comes at a time where the British Prime Minister just came out yesterday and he said Russia will not. What did he say? Sorry, guys. Russia. Keir Starmer yesterday said that that Russia would break any ceasefire agreement unless it was backed up militarily, or words to that effect. Also, there's been a ceasefire notification, or the Russians have said they are not going to attack Ukrainian power grids anymore. But guess what? They're going to attack the British. All these things, guys, you know, they're all pointing to the same direction. And listen, you know, the reality is I can only speculate on the information that I'm getting from the mainstream. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if it looks like Russian sabotage, if it smells like Russian sabotage, and if it's taking out targets that I said would be the most vulnerable, it's probably Russian sabotage. I still go with what I said in my previous video, though. The main sabotage targets are, number one is cyber, because it's the most easiest to do. You don't need to deploy anyone to do cyber. They can do the whole cyber attacking sat in their bot farms, wherever they are, not in the United Kingdom. Water was my top utilities for being sabotaged. Now, the reason I said water is because it's the easiest to sabotage. Like, literally, guys, like, how difficult is it to get one of those, I don't know, like a high-powered DeWalt drill or something with a long metal drill bit? That thing can sabotage water pipes, and that's like 200 quid or whatever. And you know what? The saboteur can even keep the drill afterwards. So it's like win-win. With electricity and gas, yes, they have a more pronounced effect, but the reality is it's a little bit more dangerous to conduct those operations. Going into substations and conducting sabotage, you kind of need to know what you're doing. And again, I always say this, ladies and gentlemen, you know, it's not the hard targets that are the problem. It's the downstream logistics. And how many times have I sat here and said, this war is going to be won or lost by downstream logistics? So what do I mean by that? You've got Heathrow Airport, which will no doubt have a high level of security because it has to. And there will be a high level of perimeter security inside it. You've got all your checks, your balances. But you know what doesn't have the security on it? Those civilian infrastructures that they are connected to, that they are 100% reliant on, as you've just seen right now. And I would speculate, in fact, I know because you guys know as well, that all over the country right now, there are those substations, there are those electricity cables. In fact, I think there was an incident, I think it was Manchester Airport a couple of months back, where there was a piece of cable cut out of the main cable that was supplying Manchester Airport with power. I think it was 12 inches was cut out of it. And again, these are the things that are vulnerable because it's not in the airport security; it's just outside. And these are the things that are vulnerable that take out our airports, take out our facilities, take out our potentially military bases, military capacity. And you know what's another one that's massively vulnerable? The fuel that goes to our Air Force. Jet fuel, because I'm pretty much on a certainty that this is produced by civilian producers, and then when they take that to the military, that is in unguarded trucks, and they are that's easy to steal, crash, burn, set on fire, whatever. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we have now, I believe we have just moved, and it's very easy to understand the day because it was the equinox. We have just moved into a new phase now. I believe that acts of sabotage are going to become more frequent in the United Kingdom, and you know, the government will just say, we don't know what they are, we're just going to investigate. We don't, guys, look, of course that's what this is, I believe anyway. Right, let's go to Iran now. So couple of things I've said previously. I said in previous videos that we would see a movement. Oh, I think I've closed that down. Yeah, I have. It's there. I've said previously that I think we will see a movement with Iran, whereby you will see pro-democracy protests on the streets in Iran. Now, there's a group in the United States called, in fact, I think I'll try and link that video at the end as well. I think I called that video Iranians for Trump. Now, what I said is, look, I'm seeing these little things growing out of the weeds now. I'm spotting these things. I'm thinking, that's interesting. That's a bit, why is that getting the media attention that it is? And then you naturally look where that evolves to. Remember, I've said March 2026 for the United States to go into Iran. And again, what I think you're going to see from now onwards is the build-up of pro-democracy movement in Iran. You're going to see, and again, this is what I've said in previous videos, I've said this, you will see in the future, you will see images of people waving the United States flag saying, we want democracy, we Iranians want democracy. And then guess what? The Americans will go and give them democracy. Remember, though, ladies and gentlemen, this all comes down from House Resolution 559, which was passed on the 1st of November 2023, which says that a nuclear-armed Iran is unacceptable to the global order. The United States would take whatever means necessary to stop that happening and support freedom of movement of any actors in that region who want to stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon by any actors. I'm pretty sure they're all pointing at Israel. So from the situation last night then in Iran, the Crown Prince just released a speech to the world titled Imagine a New Iran. He says it's time to dismantle the Islamic regime, both for regional stability and global security and freedom of all Iranians. Now, remember, these things are starting now. I spotted them like in 2020, well, whenever I did the video, which I'll link at the end, I said, look, guys, this is coming. So now we've got these two direct splits where the United States is going to focus on the Middle East exclusively because they have to logistically. They have all the they have all the ships, they have all the air power, they have all the manpower. The United States don't need any of us Europeans getting involved with that. If anything, it would be counterproductive for Europeans to get involved. Yes, there will be some special forces attachments with them, but they will be under largely US command. With the European theatre, the Russian threat, you're going to have the coalition of the willing now. And again, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about this, it's kind of old news because I've been saying this for the longest time. You have got this coalition of the willing now. And listen, if you think that this is not being led by the United Kingdom, please put it in the comments. Also, in 2023, I said that the United Kingdom would lead by 2025, and that is happening right now. So just to clarify then, ladies and gentlemen, the jokes of this video, fires broke out all over the United Kingdom yesterday. Heathrow Airport's being closed down because of a fire at a substation. I've been warning about sabotage for the longest time, and these are the types of attack you would expect to see under that bracket of sabotage. The Iranians, you're starting to see a pro-democracy movement in Iran, like I said you would. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, when I say the summer of carnage is coming, when I say we are heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale, I'm not making that up. That's what I see coming. Anyway, guys, I'm going to back to grid, and I'll get you guys another video later.